Hello YouTube, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 8. Another task that's been on our to-do list here for a couple weeks is to address some of my cast iron. So I have recently, over the last few years, started collecting cast iron. You can see some of it up there. And cooking with cast iron, learning how to cook with cast iron, and I absolutely love it. And so if you're not like familiar with the cast iron movement, brace yourself because it's addicting. Once you kind of start getting into it, you kind of go, like, it's really easy to just like become really obsessed with it. So I love to thrift. That's another thing about me. I really enjoy thrift shopping, and kind of looking for secret goodies at, really good price. Who doesn't love that, right? So I've got a couple pieces here that I've collected over the last couple weeks. One from a thrift store and one actually was from Free Cycle. So they need to be cleaned because obviously they have a history, and just kind of re-season them and get them ready to be up and running and used in the kitchen. All right, so the first piece is this one right here. This one I got from the thrift store. I think I paid like $2.50 for it. That's $2.50 for my cast iron lovers. That is what is on the back if you're a cast iron junkie. So we want to go ahead and clean this and get this ready to rock and roll. Another one that I found recently, this was actually from Free Cycle, is this guy right here. This is a beautiful one. I believe this is a 10-inch, yes. And again, for people that are following along, here it is. So this is Wagner. It's stamped 1891 original. I did do a little bit of homework on this. It sounds like this particular pan came out for, I think it was like an anniversary. I think it was like a 100th anniversary or something. So this particular pan, this design, this layout, is actually listed from the 90s, like 1990 something. And they kind of did this logo, this stamp, as like a salute to their anniversary. So but this one's really nice. I love the handle on it. I like the little pour spouts on the side. So Tyler's here and he's gonna help me. So one thing that we considered, that was actually Tyler's idea and I really liked it, was to maybe try to season our cast iron, clean it, season it on the grill. So that was something I was looking into because I thought it would be great. I did do a how to clean and season your cast iron video like a million years ago that I'll try and link here. And so I thought it'd be really fun to try and do it on the grill because it would be different from what I had done before. But looking into it, it takes a really long time and it kind of just eats through propane, so it really wasn't, I don't know.
We've done it before.
Did we?
Yeah, we did the Dutch oven that we used for camping, and we did one this size. I don't know where you, it was your grandma's stuff. Yeah. We did that on the grill.
I don't know, since we're doing cast iron things, we have a cast iron piece here that we use for breakfast that's gonna also get cleaned. So we're just gonna take you guys along for the cast iron ride today and share with you a little bit about the pieces that we use the most and the benefits of cast iron, I suppose.
Just put a little bit of water in the bottom, and then we got this, which we'll link on Amazon too. This is great for cleaning them. It keeps you away from, what's that stuff called? Steel wool, because little pieces of that steel wool could come off, get stuck in the coating, and then you're eating metal for the rest of your life. So this stuff doesn't scratch off. It's stainless steel. It's amazing. It's basically chainmail from medieval times. And you just do this till you get all the other chunks off. The more you clean cast iron, the more you won't even need to look at what you're doing, because especially with something like this, when you're using your fingers, you can actually feel when you hit the caked on stuff in the coating. So you just go around the whole thing until you really can't feel anything anymore.
Having the proper tools to clean cast iron can be a complete game changer. When I first started using cast iron, I didn't have any of these little things that he's talking about, and it makes everything a lot harder. So it's well worth spending a couple dollars to get the proper tools.
This is always what you want to see in cast iron. So we just rinsed it out and you can see all the water is just beating up. If your water does not beat up and it just kind of coats the pan, your seasoning has either failed or gone away. So the next step, paper towel. You're just gonna quickly dry out the inside. This is also a good time to make sure that you cleaned it really well. If you miss any, we used ours on the gas grill one time, and so we're still pulling soot off the bottom. Definitely dry off all the sides, everywhere that you can find, because anywhere that you hit that's not dry and you don't season will immediately rust. So once you get it to your stove, you're just going to take your burner and turn it on medium. What you're doing is just heating it up to kind of vaporize all the rest of the water that's still in, around, on it, whatever. You want all that moisture to be gone before you put the oil in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What are you using for an oil to put on here?
I use, just for everyday use, vegetable oil. It can really be anything. You can use bacon drippings, like the leftover bacon drippings you can use. What I also like doing recently is we've been getting into infusing some oils. And two of my favorites so far have been the rosemary infused oil. I use that to reseason my cast iron because it gives it a little extra something. And then just the infused peppercorns, whole peppercorns into oil, using that on your cast iron is amazing. So now that our pan is hot, we are just gonna put a small bead, maybe the size of a quarter, into, and this is our peppercorn infused oil. Put the small bead in there, take a paper towel, fold it into a little itty bitty square, bigger if you're afraid to get burned. Okay, you need to put more oil. You want enough just to make the entire thing glisten. Use that much. You just don't want to put too much in it that you just have big old globules everywhere. Then you're going to hit the inside rim, the top, any spouts if you have one, if you have a spout, the handle, if you've got a handle, you probably do have a handle. And that's it. And you let it sit, cool off, and you're all good.
All right, so we're gonna do mine next.
Yep, we're going to do yours next.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with this one here, and just warm water and regular dish soap. Mm-hmm. This is our dish soap. It's funny because people that come to our house, if they are not regulars here, it can get very confusing as to like what is dish soap, what is vinegar, what is oil, because nothing's labeled and it's all put in just really pretty jars because I like the way it looks. All right, so I'm just cleaning this right now with a dish rag and soap per Tyler's instructions. I just feel like this is gonna be like my grilled cheese. I can just see it already.
Single serve sandwich pan.
This is my grilled cheese pan. Next. Do we have anybody that watches our channel that like really gets into cast iron? I really want to. I want to learn all the things. And so like I shared with you, like I did homework on this and it said that it was like just a special that they came out with back in the 1990s. But if you look here, like it's like extra texture. It's got a lot more texture to it. And then the research that I had done before was that the heavier textured ones were some of the more original pieces. So if anyone is like really into cast iron, can we connect? I want to learn. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to strip your pan. So you're going to plug your sink and use white vinegar. We're going to go ahead and pour in enough white vinegar to cover our pans. Now we're gonna let those pans sit in the vinegar for 1 hour. And the idea again is this is gonna strip them down to their bare surface so that we can kind of start from scratch. So our pans have been sitting in vinegar now for an hour. So now I'm gonna just pull them out and then we're gonna go back with our, what is this called? Chainmail?
Chainmail.
Chainmail. And just scrape off, you know, whatever else might be there. And again, you know, we're just trying to make sure that we're getting down to a bare surface. There really isn't much there. And then we're going to just quick rinse the vinegar off. and wipe dry for a quick second. I have my oven set preheating to 350. Once we quick dry these and the oven is preheated, we're gonna pop them in for about 10-15 minutes. You just wanna make sure that they're nice and dry. Now at this point you should be able to see the profile on your pans pretty well, because this should have stripped the majority of anything that might have been coated on them. All right, my oven is preheated. And we're gonna go ahead and just pop these and set a timer for 15 minutes just to make sure they're nice and dry. All right, so after your pans have been in the oven for a while and they're completely dry, you want to kind of get a setup going here for you to be able to let them cool and then start oiling them. So what I have is I just have like baking dishes or baking sheets that I'm just setting down here just to give me a space to work with. They're going to be hot, so I've just got them set here, and I'm going to take my pans out the oven. Now I'm going to let them sit and cool off. We want them to be entirely cool to the touch before we move forward. And while they're cooling, we're going to go ahead and turn up our temperature in our oven. We're going to do about 475 so that once they're cooled and greased, we can toss them back in. So once you have them pretty cool to the touch, I mean, they're still pretty warm, but they don't burn. We're going to go ahead and we're going to grease them or oil them.
So I was explaining to her earlier that there are different kinds of oils. There's olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. There is, like I said, don't season your stuff like this when you're seasoning them completely. Don't do it with bacon drippings because it's just gonna smoke everywhere. Avocado oil for this process is one of the best ones that you can use, because instead of like, say, bacon grease, smoke point is like 300 degrees, so it's gonna smoke all the time. The vegetable canola oils will smoke probably at about 4 to 450. Avocado oil is known for having a high smoke point of 550 degrees.
Cool.
So even if you put it in the oven at 500, it shouldn't smoke at all.
So what we have available right now is this spray version. So I've never tried it with this, but I can't imagine it would make that much of a difference. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try this. All right, so I'm gonna just get some paper towels ready here and spray this down good. I wanna make sure that I coat the entire surface. You wanna make sure you're getting all of the edges, the handles, the sides, which we'll flip this over to do.
You want to do this relatively thick, but you don't want to have too many spots where it's just pooling up. If it pools up too much, then all it's going to do is just drip into the bottom of your oven.
Need more spray?
Yeah. Don't go over. Well, it'll come up. Better just add them. Too much. Yeah, you're going to have some. Good. Always recommend doing it when you're re-seasoning stuff for the first time. When you go to re-season this, you'll never actually redo the bottom unless you have a problem or you accidentally clean it or put it in the dishwasher, God forbid.
When you go to re-season after cooking is what you mean by that.
Yes. After you've initially done your full re-seasoning, you won't re-season the bottom,
outside.
only the cooking surface area.
Oven is preheated to 475, and we're gonna slip these in. Again, you wanna put them face side down.
You put them face side down because if you put them the other way, the oil will come out of the pan and actually form pools.
And we're gonna leave these guys in the oven for 1 hour. And then after an hour, they look nice and pretty. Turned out awesome. Turned out awesome. Now Tyler mentioned you can go ahead and do this process over and over again until you are satisfied, but for the time being I'm satisfied. Mostly because it's time to make dinner. I'm good. I'm good with them. I think they turned out beautifully. Tyler said do them 3 times. If we really want to, we can do a couple more times another day, but not today. We did a lot of stuff today, and now it's time to start dinner, which in the season of cast ironing, did I just make a joke? So for the sake of cast ironing, we are going to do chicken in what I want to do is my cast iron Dutch oven. So, how is it? For the chicken dish that we're doing tonight, we are actually doing chicken legs that we had marinating in something that Tyler really likes to make this time of the year. Once we've made our fire cider, kind of take the leftovers of the fire cider and make hot sauce. So we actually use that in our marinade for our chicken today. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and doing some cast iron stuff.
Yeah, cast iron.
And thank you for joining us for our Vlogmas, as always.
Thank you for watching.
And we look forward
to sharing
more with you soon. That's cool.
So good.
I didn't know that you were doing that. That's neat.
We call that the classic seasonings.